Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. It's Brittany here with another video to help you guys live a happy, healthy, awesome life in a wheelchair. And today I'm here with Crazy Brian, one of the stars of Push.
Hello.
Well, I would argue to say the star of Push. He is very popular because he's got a mouth and emotions, and people love that. And today I'm just going to do a little bit of an interview with him, sort of to get to know him better as a person and see how much he remembers as an old guy. Don't look at the questions.
I will not look at the questions.
If you have no idea what the F I'm talking about, because you're like, what's this show? If you don't know, it's a show in Canada called Push. I know a lot of you watching are from the US, and no, you can't watch it there. It's not on any streaming platforms or any networks there, unless you know how to do some maneuvering. I'm not advocating that, but if you want to start a thread in the comments and you guys can talk about it, how to watch Canadian shows, you can go ahead and do that. But it's a show here in Canada with a full cast of wheelchair users, including us. I'm not in it that much this year, but I'm part of the cast, and Brian is definitely one of the big people that everyone loves on the show. So we're gonna get to know him better, and then we're gonna put this shit on social media. All right?
We're there.
Okay, we're there. All right, I have 14 questions. We'll see how far we get. Some of them are like just random questions about him as a person, and then some of them are like more like philosophical life questions, and then other ones are just like test his memory a little bit. And this is Sid. He's also one of the stars of the show.
Sid the Kid.
He's the cutest old dog ever. Okay, how were you paralyzed?
I was paralyzed August 22nd, 1995 in an ATV accident, riding a three-wheel quad trike, doing 65k an hour when somebody cut me off. I turned to miss, flipped upside down, landed on a foot-wide log on my back, and had the machine land right on top of me.
I've never heard that whole story. I knew you were paralyzed on an ATV. Good old trikes, not even quads. Somebody was like, let's put a fourth wheel on those suckers, stop all the accidents.
They did deem them illegal.
They were definitely not a super safe mode of transportation, and we all rode them as kids.
Still do.
Yeah. Brian's like, F the paralysis. This guy does stupid shit all the time. I'm not sure why he's still alive.
Fair comment.
What level of paralysis are you? So for those that are paralyzed, that's one of the curious questions that everybody wants to know.
Yeah, so technically T12 paraplegic. There's terminologies that are being asked to be changed these days, but I'm classified as an incomplete. So from where my level of injury is down, I'm still able to partially move my legs, have partial feeling in certain spots, so on and so forth. So as deemed from years ago, that's an incomplete paraplegic.
Okay, we have to talk less with our hands because we're moving the camera on the table. I'm terrible too.
Fair.
I'm like awful.
I'm a very handy guy.
Me too.
You know?
I'm so bad.
Yeah, I'll try.
And in the interview that I did with Joe a long time ago, the camera kept going jiggle, jiggle, jiggle. Because
Gotcha.
I was like doing with my... We can talk with our hands, just not on the table.
Fair.
So that was my next question. How much of your body below your level of injury can you still feel and move?
That's such a tough question to answer because it's so sporadic. So, like in my left knee, I have hypersensitivity. So any type of temperature change, wind, even material can put my nerves into absolute hell.
Like that's what my left arm is. I want to. If you touch it when it's hypersensitive, I will cut you in the throat.
Yeah.
You're dead.
I like it. Yeah, it definitely sucks. So I do have partial feeling. I have most feeling, I would say, actually, to the knees. From the knees to the toes, I can tell touch, but I can't tell hot, cold, or pain.
Oh.
So
You gotta be careful.
as I've learned the hard way about that situation, but yeah, it is what it is. You just every little spot is different.
Yeah. And he can move his legs, like when he's like in his chair, he can move his leg. So kind of like
no benefit though.
No,
they don't
like
do nothing
can't weight
other than
bear,
wave.
can't weight bear or anything, but you still can move your legs.
That's right.
From the bottom.
That's
you can dangle.
Yeah, dangle them. Yeah.
Okay. I hope you remember this story because I've told it to you many times, but this is a test your memory thing. How did we meet?
How did we meet? It was your birthday.
No,
No?
you get this wrong every time.
Every time. That's like my fondest
That's
memory
what
of you is that B Street
That was-
in Edmonton.
That was like right after like we met. We met somewhere else first. And so fine, I'll tell the story because I like telling the story.
Okay, fair.
Okay, so that's entirely wrong, and I knew he wasn't going to remember. That's why I put it on here, because he always
Sorry.
says my birthday.
Sorry.
But we met at a gala. Here we have an organization called Spinal Cord Injury Alberta. It used to be a Canadian Paraplegic Association, and it was that then. And I went to this gala with a friend. He went with our friend Bean, who's also on Push, and we sat at the same table. And when I wheeled up, I'd never seen this guy in my life, and he goes, "Who the fuck are you?" And I was like, "Who the fuck are you?" And he was like, "Who the fuck are you?" And he said it again, and I was like, "I'm Brittany." And he was like, "Where do you live?" And I was like, "Edmonton, like Spruce Grove area." He's like, "No fucking way." And then I was like, "What is wrong with you?" And then he was like, "How long have you been in a wheelchair?" And then I was like, at that time, it was like a really long time, like, well, it's not as long as now, obviously, but it was like 19 years or something like that. I don't know how long ago we met. It was a long time ago. And he was like, "No fucking way," because he's only been paralyzed a few years longer than me. And so he just kept saying, like, "No fucking way, do I not know who you are?" Like, and then Bean's like, "You don't know Brittany?" Because I'm friends with his friend, like one of his best friends, and we'd never met. And it was just really funny because he just kept swearing at me, and I was like, I left, and I was like, "What?" And then we just became friends after that.
That's
but
right.
It was so funny because he just kept swearing at me like, "Who the fuck are you?" And it was hilarious.
I now remember the gala, but I like my fondest memory
Yeah.
was the night at B Street.
Yeah, and that
Like,
was like right after because I like had my birthday
That's
after.
right, that's right.
And so I invited you to my birthday. And that's where we like really became friends.
That's
but
right, yeah.
it was like, yeah, it was just it was a funny first meeting. Okay. What is one thing that I do that annoys you?
Holy shit! One thing that you do that annoys me.
If you don't have to think of anything if there's nothing.
I think if anything, if you were at it, is your over concern. You
That is
are
me.
consistently concerned
I know.
about my well-being. Not that it's
It's
not
true.
justified in certain aspects, but on the same token, you do. You're very over concerned.
I know I'm like that person that like we went to Mexico together, and if he didn't get up until like 11 o'clock, I was like legitimately gonna get like a maid to go in his room to see if he was alive. Like, and like multiple times Joe had to stop me being like, you're not
Sleeping. Come
you're
on, we're
not
in
getting
Mexico."
somebody to open his door because he's sleeping and he's on holidays. And I was like, I'm just that lunatic. If like Joe doesn't come home from work like right after work and he's like busy and doesn't call and say like, "Hey," I'm like, "He's dead. He's in the ditch somewhere and he's not alive anymore." Like, I'm just a lunatic like that.
It's not a lunatic. It just shows how big your heart is. That's
I am
all it
also
is, bud.
like just I have an asshole brain that's very overprotective for people and myself, so it jumps to the worst conclusions. Okay. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
You know, I get asked this question a few times, and I mean, I basically go right back to the same spot. What's funny is that you would think, like, because of weather and the wheelchair and stuff like that, you would pick somewhere where it's 24/7 sun
Yeah.
or whatever. I'm not. Latvia is the place I would move
Where's
to.
Latvia? You've told me this
So
before,
it's
but
just
I don't...
like kind of east of Russia. Right
Oh,
below.
okay.
I'm trying to remember the name of the other country. Damn, I'm gonna have a brain fart moment. I know it. But anyways, when I was bobsledding back in the day, I trained.
I'll put a map in here anyway.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I trained in Latvia, Estonia.
Oh,
There you go, close
okay.
to Estonia.
Apparently,
My apologies for that.
that's okay.
So I trained out of Latvia. I lived with one of the Latvian pilots, bobsled pilots, and just fell in love with their country. You know, the people were beautiful
Yeah.
from head to toe, just gorgeous people. But
Like personality-wise, or like
both personality
and, like,
and physically,
yeah,
like just
okay.
very healthy, very
Oh.
beautiful looking people. But the meaning of love is what I fell in love with. In Latvia, they're still traditional. You love till you're dead.
Really?
Yeah, they
Oh,
work
like-
really hard. It doesn't matter how green the grass may seem on the other side, they
Yeah.
work through everything, and it's the one thing of Latvia that I cherish the most and really respect of Latvians. But yeah, beautiful country, beautiful people.
You
Great.
fit in there because he's like, if this guy's your friend, he'll do anything for you. Literally, he does way too much for his friends all the time. But that's your mentality. Like that collective, like, I guess, value in that country is like what you value here.
It definitely, I love to a fault, and
Yeah.
and sometimes it doesn't get received that way, but it is what it is. But Latvia was definitely a great place. It was definitely the meaning of love was there.
So is it like kind of like Canadian weather?
Yeah, it's like almost identical to Canadian weather.
Or Alberta
Summers
weather, I
are-
guess, because we have different weather all over Canada.
Yeah,
but-
summers are hot and winters are full of snow and cold, and yeah, it is what it is. And you
You
got to
should-
realize in this country, it doesn't have the snow removal sidewalks or pavement that we have here.
no.
So it's actually more of a challenge, to be honest with you. And in Latvia, unless you're living in Sigulda or Riga, those are the two major cities. Everything is village living. Like, you live basically in a tiny village with a grocery store and maybe a liquor store if you're lucky.
Yeah.
And then you're miles away and living in the countryside. But I don't have a problem living in a country. That's quite, countryside is a better way to live, I think. Fresh air, fresh
Yeah.
animals.
Yeah.
It's just the way it
That's
is.
the best way to live. It's hard in a wheelchair, but that's the best way to live.
It is. Yeah.
Okay. Next question. If you could go back and change only one thing about your life, what would it be?
Oh, if you could go back and change one thing about your life, what would it be? That is I have multiple answers for that.
Because I bet you, if you like pause the video, what does everybody watching think you're gonna say? They think you're gonna say they changed the day you went.
Change the day I got paralyzed,
or
which
something
I
like
would
that.
not change at
But
all.
yeah, I knew that
Yeah.
wasn't gonna be your answer. But I just
No.
was curious about this question because I knew that wasn't your answer.
If I could change one thing, I think it would be probably first and foremost would probably be my education.
Oh,
I would have
really?
I would have focused more and wished I would have been more academic and stayed in school and focused on that side of things. But I mean, at the end of the day, life is life, man, and I've enjoyed every moment of it. So I don't, what would you change? I mean, I'd change, getting into some of the trouble I've gotten into in my life, even go as far as addiction or substance abuse, and there's those things that you definitely would want to change and not be a part of, or remember the first time you ever tried something and just wish you'd never done it, you know. But I mean, deep down, some of those have been some of the greatest times too, I'm not gonna lie. So you take it for what it's worth, but education would probably be my number one thing. I wish I would have been more academic and more focused on my studies.
Yeah, it's interesting that like that's an answer that is very probably universal. Like people always think that when you're like in a life-changing accident that's going to be the answer, but most of the time it's not. You really wish you could change other things in your life, and his answer is probably really similar to a lot of guys that are his age that wish they could go back and do some of those things over again.
Yeah,
it's interesting. Okay, what is the most annoying part about being in a wheelchair? For you specifically.
What is the most annoying part of being in a wheelchair? Whew, that's a loaded question. Getting in and out of people's homes that aren't accessible. That's it.
I would share that exactly. The people don't really realize I guess the commercial areas of the world are wheelchair accessible. Yeah. But the private areas of the world are not wheelchair accessible. Like we were talking about this the other day, even things like getting gas, that's getting less wheelchair accessible as the years go on because gas stations are less and less likely to be full service. And as a person in a wheelchair, hard to get out some of the time, hard to be able to even get close enough with your vehicle and still get out with your wheelchair to pump your own gas. if you can even reach the like buttons and stuff where you can see them. So certain parts of the world are getting less accessible, and definitely like residential construction is never going to be accessible. And so it's really difficult when you make friends with people that are able-bodied.
That's true.
Because we can absolutely visit them, and we have friends that will absolutely lift us around, but it's also annoying.
It's tough on friends too. I mean, you're putting their body through hell, lifting your chair and you, or whatever the case may be.
And some people think it's not even possible. Like our friend Tash is in a power chair. That chair is 400 pounds. She is likely not going to other people's houses very often.
No.
Which is really annoying. Okay, what's the best part about being in a wheelchair? What's the coolest part?
What's the coolest? For the amount of people that have come into my life. I think that personality obviously helps with that. Yeah, but I mean, the chair is always a conversation piece and a good way to start meeting people.
It is. I always say I'm wonderfully conspicuous.
Yeah.
I love being wonderfully conspicuous. You get free shit. You get there's so much cool stuff about being in a wheelchair, and I'll take it all.
That's right.
I will take it.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. What is your biggest pet peeve?
Oh, what is my biggest pet peeve? Man, you got some doozy questions, eh? What is my biggest pet peeve?
I tried to mix it up. I didn't want them all to be about disability, because that's boring.
What is my biggest pet peeve?
Or just a pet peeve.
Oh, that's a good question. What is my biggest pet peeve? God.
We can come back to that one.
Yeah, let's put that on the back burner.
It's hard when people when you're put on the spot. Okay, what's your favorite movie?
Favorite movie, Boondock Saints.
I don't even think I've ever heard of that movie. What's it about?
Oh my God, it is an incredible movie. It's about Sean Patrick Flannery. What's the other guy's name? William Dafoe. It's two brothers, Irish brothers that fall into a vigilante kind of role. I will
link to it.
And it is probably one of the greatest movies ever.
In a place where the violent have the power.
Destroy all that which is evil, so that which is good may flourish.
One lawman doesn't know whether to catch the killers.
I believe what they do is necessary.
Or join them.
I love it. Yeah, watch it to death. Yep.
Okay.
Great. Yep.
I am gonna watch it.
Yeah, it's great.
I will link to it. What's it called again?
Boondock Saints.
Boondock Saints.
Yep.
All right.
There's 1 and 2. 2's a little cheesier, still is good, but 1 is epic. You'll never forget it.
Boondock Saints.
Yep.
Okay. If you have seen that movie, put it in the comments. See if you tell us if you like it too. Okay. What is one thing that you learned being on Push, the reality show that we're part of, that you didn't know about film and television?
Just the adjustments in timelines. People. You're watching 22 minutes of 8 episodes. You don't realize how much filming goes into it, and in order to follow, it can't just be, this and that and this and that, jumping back and forth. There has to be some sort of a storyline.
Yeah.
And in order to follow that storyline, they do have to make adjustments throughout those 7 months or 8 months of filming.
Yeah.
So that it kind of makes sense. So that's the one thing I really didn't realize. When you talk about docuseries or you talk about reality show, you just figure that's just filming every single day and they're just showing it. But in reality, every single thing has to have a storyline.
Yeah.
And so, it definitely was a learning curve and an eye-opening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even for YouTube, sometimes I'll film something and it makes sense that I do it that way in the day, but it doesn't make sense that I show it that way on a vlog. And it's absolutely all the things I did, and it's true stuff I did. I just changed the order of how I did it so that it's more entertaining for you guys. So I think that was the biggest surprise to me too, is that just when you collect so much footage, they have to rearrange it in a way that makes sense to an audience and not just, however we do it, because it's confusing then. So, I would agree with that. Okay, what is the best part about being on a TV show?
What is the best part about being on a TV show? One of the greatest things that keeps being told to me now time and time again, and I'm appreciative, is just that people see me for exactly who I am, and of people that have known me my whole life, people that have been in my life for shorter periods of time are all like, yep, that's definitely Brian, and that's great. I'm very, that's probably one of the greatest things about it is the way they've captured exactly who I am.
Yeah, like the recognition of how genuine you are. I think that's like, because he's so genuine. If you watch Push, the guy you see on TV is literally the guy that's sitting right here. Like he's the same. He has big emotions. He has a big heart, and he's a lot of fun. And that's who you see on TV. So that's what being authentic is all about, I think. And I think that's why people love you so much, because people can smell it when somebody is fake. Yeah. People have such a good radar for that. They're like, that guy is bullshitting me all day long. Okay, last question. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Holy hell, here you go. Hey, where do I see myself in 5 years? I mean, really, I'm being blessed right now with the show. I'm being blessed with opportunities coming my way. My public speaking career is where I'm really focusing a lot of my time and effort on. I've been doing public speaking since 2002. But very quietly. And, now I'm focused on it. I really want to be able to share kind of my journey and just give people the understanding that anything's possible in life. Don't ever take, you can't, you won't, don't do it. You're only as disabled as you may let yourself be. Yeah. And your only restrictions are yourself. So, I mean, I enjoy public speaking. I enjoy trying to spread a message of some sort. Yeah. So I'm hoping in 5 years, the Brian McPherson name is a big name in the communities and around the world in public speaking. As far as the acting career goes, it is what it is. I mean, whatever comes my way, I'm not going to turn it down. Yeah. It is fun. It is stressful. There's a lot of emotions that come with it. Yeah. So I really, And then other than that, I just want to own a cruise ship. I just want to own my cruise ship. Please come sail well with Sidwell. It's got the name, got plans for it, but a fully 100% no room for error, wheelchair accessible cruise liner that works with other countries and ports for a fully wheelchair accessible experience, and that there, I think, would be a game changer in our world.
So if there's any cruise lines watching that want to partner with Crazy Brian on his cruise ship dream and also look amazing around the world for your inclusion, then contact me at empoweredpair@gmail.com. And we'll make a Crip Cruise happen. Make a Crip Cruise happen, and then you can work with Brian on designing a fully wheelchair accessible experience for people that have a hard time traveling to a whole bunch of other countries that have accessibility issues. So if you want to be the cruise line that takes people around the world and shows people the world, then contact me, and I'll put you in touch with this guy. We gotta put that out there.
Absolutely.
Gotta put that out there.
Put it
you never know when there's somebody watching that's like, oh my God, my dad owns a cruise line or whatever. You never know. So just gotta put it out there.
Let me know.
Last question is actually the question that you skipped over. Was do you have a pet peeve? If you don't have a pet peeve, then that's good.
I guess my pet peeve would probably be just misunderstood. Being misunderstood.
Oh, you don't like that. Yeah. That is annoying. That is annoying when you're like, what? I don't get it. He also doesn't like it when people touch his friends' wheelchairs. Because there's a couple of times that I've been out with him and somebody has come up and been intoxicated or tipsy and they've leaned on my wheelchair, or this homeless guy did once and was and he was like, "Kate, you need to not do that." And they didn't listen, and he was like, you need to not touch somebody's wheelchair. You don't touch people's wheelchairs. Which is absolutely true. Do not touch people's wheelchairs. It's their body, dude. That's the equivalent of you going up and just leaning on somebody's fucking, which people do all the time too, I guess, but still, don't do it.
Yeah, if you talk from that side, that is my biggest pet peeve.
Yeah.
Don't ever touch my goddamn wheelchair.
Yeah.
And if you touch any of my buddies' wheelchairs and they haven't given you permission, I mean,
Yeah.
Brittany's being really gentle about how that conversation went.
Yeah, I know.
It definitely wasn't as friendly or
wasn't
as
friendly.
willing to accept this guy leaning on her wheelchair.
Well, you were friendly at first.
I asked politely
Yeah.
once. After that, you don't get asked.
And then the guy
again.
said, "No, it's fine."
Yeah,
And Brian-
yeah. And I'm
Brian was like,
"No, it's not fine.
It's not
Yeah,
fine."
yeah.
Like,
Like, remove yourself from the chair. Or,
And he was like,
yeah.
"Okay," he left. But yeah, that's a pet peeve of everybody in a wheelchair. It's so annoying. I've been
yeah.
in the grocery store and like a lady's like used me as a walker almost. I'm like, dude, stop touching my wheelchair.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's my like 14 question interview. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see more of Brian on my channel, please comment down below and just say Crazy Brian with like an arrow up or however you want to do it. Just say more of Crazy Brian because I want him to be on my channel more because I think he needs to start his own channel. If you want to find him, you can go over to TikTok. What are you on TikTok?
Oh God, I don't even know.
Uncle B? Uncle
I
B.
think. Yeah, Uncle B.
I'll tag his like TikTok down below because he is on TikTok, and he's also one of those people that is very open and honest about life in general. So if you do have a question for him, throw it in a message for TikTok.
Let me know.
Or something. Yeah. Or you can just put it in these comments and I'll make him watch the comments. But yeah, I'm sure people would love to see more of you. He's gonna teach me how to service my wheelchair because I suck. That's another thing that is annoying about me that he hates.
Yeah.
The
amount of hair on the front of this girl's casters is absolute. I mean, I get it. Girls have hair, but man, it's a
hates it.
torch for like 2 minutes a week, and we still can't seem to get this.
So I can't
this
get it
solved.
right.
Yeah.
I'm like
Drives me nuts.
Yeah.
Drives me nuts. Yeah.
So we found something that actually annoys you probably more
Yeah,
than
there
my
you
concern.
go. Yeah, your hair on the casters drive me bonkers. Yeah.
All right, well, you guys can catch Push. Season 2 is out. It's on CBC Sunday nights at 7:30. Or you can watch it on CBC Gem, which is like CBC streaming app. And they release 1 episode a week. Unless you're a premium member, then you can see 2 episodes.
I just realized that the other day. I forgot about that last
Yeah.
year, and this year I'm like, how come it says there's another episode and
But
it's
it's
locked,
locked.
but it's premium?
It's premium.
But,
So
yeah.
if you wanna get an extra episode a week, then you can be a premium
If you
member.
want to be ahead of the dirt.
Yeah, if you want to be ahead of the dirt. I think
Yeah.
it's only like 4 something a month, so it's not like crazy. But anyway, you can catch us there. Thanks for watching. I will catch you guys on another video. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.